Okay, hi Alicia. I've got your work up here for um, week five assignment two. And the first thing I want to mention is that we're talking about a little bit about this week and last week about starting to develop your background pages. And I bring that up because I haven't seen any development. This seems like that you're using the same background page that you have been for a while now, and excuse me, including the this kind of really over exaggerated kind of display scripty kind of handwritten font, and the pattern you have in the background, that's what you've been sticking with. And I think it's time now to start replacing that with some of your branding materials. And what do I mean by that? Well, as you go through the presentations, you can see a lot of students, and I'm not going to show any examples. You can look at those on your own, but you can see a lot of examples where students have developed a logo, a designer's logo, a student's logo, whatever you would like to call it. And that would be an identifying mark for which the designer will use in order to associate themselves with this mark so that when a potential employer or studio head or agency head happens to see your logo, they're going to associate you with this portfolio. Okay. So, and my idea there, of course, is as I've said now since week two, is that simplicity is the best way to go there. What do I mean by developing your background pages? Well, what I mean is this, and I really think you've really got to do something this week because this presentation is just, it wouldn't be acceptable for what an employer is looking for a background page that houses um, a designer's portfolio. So what am I talking about then? What would a page look like? Glad you asked, because if we go over to our, I'm just going to jump right over to our course home and our announcements page. And if you jump down to week five, it's just a welcome to week five video from last week. And you have these pages that I have put up here, and I've shared these with you because they're two things. They're very consistent and they're very minimal. Why did I select these? I think they're wonderful representations of what a portfolio page needs to hold. And what is that? That's the look how the text is placed in the identical place on every single page. So any page you go on this portfolio, you know there's the text, that's what I'm reading about. Doesn't matter what I'm looking at, I know that I can jump down here and read about it just in case I don't know what I'm looking at. Likewise, that's a really nice safety net for a viewer to have. And also it creates this visual cadence, this tempo, as it were, for which a viewer will develop while going through the pages, by meaning that they're going to take their own time to peruse the work, read, then flip the page, peruse the work, if maybe not even in that order, maybe reading the work, then looking at the work, then flipping the page. Whatever the case, my point is it's identical on each page. There's nothing stumbling, there's no heavy visual graphics on the sides of the pages that is attracting work away from this designer's work. It's just all very minimal. And if you notice, there's even like this imaginary, just this space that the designer uses, and it's consistent on every page and uses that space to develop margins and to keep the design work within that imaginary space. And I think that's a wonderful technique. So can we employ that into your work? Absolutely. How? I say the first thing we need to do, Alicia, is get yourself a logo, develop a logo. And I highly recommend not using all of this big flourishy type, and I recommend that we don't use these graphics. Just set up your page with, if you look at that page that I used an example, this I would recommend to this student. If this were my student, I would say, well, let's just plop your logo right up there. Align it with the page number, so you have your logo, your work, your description. Next page, please. Logo, work, description. Logo, work, description. There's no way. And it would be identical on every single page. So it doesn't matter if the viewer plops open to the middle of the portfolio. They know exactly what they're looking for and where to find it. That's important. And plus, you want your logo to be seen I certainly don't mind seeing a logo on every page as long as it's not as long as it's a minimal and well designed logo. Keep that in mind. Okay, back to your work. So okay, now you've got this website. Okay, so the website, well, as you can see, the link doesn't work. So and what you want to do when you present your website is present 3 pages. So what you'll do is this: you'll give us 3 pages deep of the website. So give us the home page, the about page, and maybe a menu page or something. Show those as screenshots. Then, if at all possible, give us a working link. It's got to be a working link. This is going to frustrate a viewer if they're looking at it electronically and that link doesn't work. So, and that is going to work against you. So make sure all your links work in your portfolio. Okay, if you have a questionable link, don't include it. Just give the screenshots. Okay. So again, how are we going to present these? I'd like to see screenshots of 3 pages and a working link. That's how I like that. That's the optimal presentation. Anything from there, go ahead and format, and we'll take a look at. But don't forget, we're running out of time here. Web scripting, I don't know what this is going to be, and again, we don't have a working link. So, did you know you can embed your websites and your media right into your PDF? And if you just go ahead and Google that or do a web search on how to embed digital media in a PDF page, it's got to be a interactive PDF page. So I'll give you that. But from there, let's go ahead and try to get the. You can even put a web page in there and have it functional. So. Food for thought. Okay. Animation again. It's there it goes. It didn't work before. Okay, animation works. That's good. Package design. Let's get in on this. Now, I want to take a look at this package design page, and I want you to see what we have here. This is what the employer would be looking at, this page. So we take a look like, all right, I love white space, but we've got all of this area right here that is, it's the layout is saying, well, where do you want me to look? Do you see what I'm saying? So I'd like to see you really develop a nice look, do some visual research, and see how some other designers present their packages. It certainly is a good idea to present a flat production file. That's great, and these photos are great. I'd like to see some more. I'd like to see some close-ups so we can get some good close-ups of the labels. And in marketing, you always want to show full product. So it's a good idea that these bottles are full. But what I'd like to see you do is, if you have this assembled, the package, go ahead and assemble it, fill it with the bottles, and photograph it. Publication design. Brochure and magazine ad. Okay. Magazine ad is not publication design, so that's going to have to come out. That leaves us with this brochure. Now, again, look how tiny it is on the page. So what you're doing is you're telling your viewer that, no, you can't see me as you turn the page. You're going to have to zoom way in. And as we do, we can see, look at the brochure, look at the presentation. It's really, really, I mean, I can't even comment on the typography because I can't see it. So think about that, okay? That's what I have right now. I'm really starting to think about getting these background pages together and getting your digital media working in order, as well as those other comments, presentation, etc. Okay, awesome. If you have any questions, feel free to get with me. I know we're coming down to it, so I'm keeping extra time this week. I'll be in my studio basically from now till you turn your final in. So if you get stuck or whatever, just feel free to give me a holler. And you can call, whatever you want, whatever's more immediately. I'm here. All right, thanks.